What's up, guys?
What's going on?
All right. Performances of the night. We didn't have fight of the night. We just did a performance of the night. Costa, Damon Jackson, Mackenzie Dern, Amzat. No shocker there. They all won $50,000, so congratulations to them.
Dave, start out with the main event. Give us your thoughts on that. I mean, obviously a very dominant performance from Colby Covington. Of course, the injury ended it, but I think we all know what was going to happen when it went to the card. So what were your thoughts on that fight overall? Yeah,
you know, this was a fight that Usman versus Colby is one of the best fights I've ever seen. This fight had that type of potential if that Woodley showed up. He didn't.
Yeah. Do we know what happened to Tyron? I mean, I know it's just right now, but
his rib. Something happened with his rib. It's a rib injury.
Yeah. For Tyron, as you said, I mean, the guy that didn't show up that we thought was going to be here, 3 straight losses. Where do you think he stands in his career right now?
Yeah, I think that he should start thinking about hanging it up. He's had a great career. He's had a great run. You know, he's made money.
How about for Colby? I mean, obviously a great performance from him. He says two things. He wants a chance at the belt again. He wants the winner of the fight coming up. He likes to fight with Masvidal as well. You know, of course, they have a rivalry. Has he put himself back in a #1 contender position, or do you like maybe that Masvidal fight at some point? What do you think makes sense for him now?
Yeah, well, right now Gilbert Burns has the next shot at Usman. So yeah, Colby definitely, you know, he's there. And the first fight was so incredible, him and Usman. I love that fight. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we get him another fight. Maybe he fights Masvidal, you know? Yeah. See if Masvidal wants that fight.
Yeah. Cowboy and Nico, we knew that was going to be a great fight. It was. Cowboy was very dejected. You know, he said he looks at it as another loss. I mean, had it not been for the loss point, he loses on the cards. I know you had hinted like, maybe he's getting a little up there. What did you think about the fight tonight?
I thought it was a draw, too. I had it a draw. I don't know how you guys scored it, but I said, you know what? This thing could be a draw. And it ended up being one. Yeah, listen, for him tonight, the win for him tonight was he was on his way out in the first, 30 seconds of the first round. He fought back. He's tough. He's durable. And I love Cowboy, and I know this is going to fucking crush him and break his heart, but it's time to have a conversation with him.
They said they want to run it back. I mean, they both are back here and said they want to do it again in January, February. Were you at least open to the idea of that?
I need to talk to him. He and I need to have a conversation.
Fair enough. One other thing I wanted to ask you, kind of both those fights together, eye pokes were such an issue over the last 2 fights. Is that anything you guys are looking at? You know, people are talking about glove designs or whatever. Is it to a point where you guys are thinking, we got to figure out some solution to this?
Yeah, it's been crazy lately. Tonight, obviously, was real bad. But, yeah, I don't know what we figure out. We've looked at different things. I mean, we have looked at it. I don't know what the answer is to that, especially right now.
Yeah. Khamzat Chimaev just goes in there and one shot, amazing. What can you say about this guy and what he's accomplished in 66 days, I believe it is?
The guy's special. I've been in this game my whole life. I've never seen anything like him. He's special. He's different. He wants to fight again. So, you know, I've never been in a position where I'm like, who's next? How do we get him a fight? How do we get him over here? How do we do this? How do we do that? It's fun, and I like it. And I think when you're a fight fan, a guy like this is the type of guy that you love to watch and follow and hate, you know, and whatever it might be. This guy is one of the most special fighters I've ever seen, if not the most special guy that I've ever come across. And he kept telling me leading up to this fight, you think I'm a wrestler. You think I'm a wrestler. Wait till you see my hands. Holy shit. He wasn't lying.
I want to ask this in the most respectful way possible. Damian Maia is an absolute legend of the sport.
Yeah.
But after watching that display, I think there's a lot of people that are like, does he need to go a little higher than Damian Maia?
That's what everybody's saying. Yeah, I know. No, this guy is special, man. It's true. So when all the fights that I've had, you've had guys that'll be like, yeah, I'm going to turn around. I want to turn around fast, and you know, let me see how I feel tomorrow. Let me talk to my team. Let me do this. Let me do that. This guy's like, I want to fight again here on Fight Island. I was like, really? So you want to fight again while we're here? And he's like, yeah. So I turned him around. I called everybody and said, I'm going to do it. We're going to turn this kid around. So we turn him around. He fights again, and he does it again. You know, and it's like, yeah. Now I want to come to Vegas, and I want to fight in Vegas. It's just I've never experienced that with anybody ever. Not even close, not even remotely close to something. Listen, it's one thing to say I want to turn around, but, you know, not like this.
Do you think you'll bring him back to Fight Island?
I don't know what to do with him yet. We got some shit we got to figure out before we leave tonight.
Okay, so maybe not Maya. You're kind of open to maybe changing that match.
He might fight before Maya and fight Maya too. Maya's not going to be ready in time for this kid.
That's crazy. Last thing I wanted to ask you about, Jessica Rose Clark, Sarah Alpar, kind of a weird situation there with the referee.
It's a horrible situation.
We heard on the broadcast that you actually came out like during that. So what can you tell us about this? Because we're still a little bit confused. The commission said that they did use replay to determine that the knee was not illegal, which it wasn't.
So the fight's over.
Did you? Well, that
the fight should have been over. That fight should have been over just like last week. She got finished. She got stopped. If you have to jump in and look at her and do anything, her nose was broken. You know, it was a finish. That should have been a finish. You know, I know Mark Ratner's all over this, so it's just something that needs to be worked out. You know, when you get stopped, and these kids are so tough and durable. That poor little girl fought her ass off again after she was able to continue. It just needs to be fixed. They got to figure this out.
So they didn't explain the use of instant replay too. I mean, you're in favor of having replay, right?
Yes. Oh, hell yes.
But they didn't really.
I'm in favor of whatever's going to be fair. If somebody won a fight like last week, should have been stopped. You know, thank God she didn't turn around and lose the fight this week. You know, it's just crazy.
Dana, did the president call Colby?
He did.
Do you have any idea what they talked about?
The fight.
So the president was watching then?
Oh, yeah. No, I knew he was watching tonight, yeah.
Well, what did you make of all the fight week? It was kind of a dark fight week. You know, this is such a good card and a lot of good stuff to talk about. And the way that particular fight, you know, kind of went and the talk, it wasn't the positive thing. You know, do you think that was bad? You know, or does it not bother you?
Listen, one of the things that we've never done here at the UFC is stop people from expressing how they feel about certain things inside or outside the octagon. Even if it's me, if it's about me, you know, who's more about free speech than we are? I mean, we literally let our people do or say whatever it is they do. So it's normal. I think I would have to say to this day, still the darkest one ever was Khabib and Conor. I mean, when I left that press conference, I didn't feel great after I left that press conference. You know, everything that happened this week, I fucking saw it coming 100 miles away.
In all due respect, though, you did not let the situation go like that because, you know, you had them separate at the press conference, and it didn't happen the way Khabib and Conor did.
Well, they were separate at the press conference because of, you know, I wanted to get the undercard on that.
Why it happened, but I'm saying, you know, it didn't get out of control at the, you know, because of that. Right?
Yeah,
So
I don't even know if it would have got out of control. Listen, I could fucking write the entire script for you right now, what would have happened at that press conference. You guys know it too. Plus, you heard everything already. You heard all the talk. You know, these guys wanted to fight. They hate each other, the whole deal. The Conor Khabib thing you didn't see coming. I didn't see that coming. It was very weird and very dark. That's one of the weirdest ones ever. But again, my point in saying that is we've never stopped anybody from expressing themselves and saying how they feel. My philosophy is always, you know, this is a fight. People are going to say mean shit to each other. You know, it's like they shouldn't be allowed to say that. We're going to fucking punch each other in the face tomorrow. What could they possibly say that would be, you know, this is a fight game. I don't believe in all that.
Has Colby become a factor in the rating? Does he, to use your phrase, push the needle now? I mean, is his persona such that when he fights, it has an uptick in the ratings?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Listen, people love to hate Colby. You know what I mean? And you know, you no matter what you think of Colby personally, you cannot deny that the kid's one of the best in the world. Right. He's one of the best fighters on the planet.
I mean, sometimes guys that are the best in the world don't necessarily have that attraction, but he has both, right? He's a great fighter, and he's doing the numbers.
Yeah, and I mean, all of us can agree, I would imagine, that Usman has become an absolute beast, man. I mean, this guy is so good, and if you look at how great that fight was with him and Colby, and went right down to the last couple minutes of the fight where Usman finished the fight. I love that fight so much. It was such a good fight. Total war. In it till both the guys are in it till the end, and just it doesn't get any better than that when you put on fights.
One last question about that fight, then I have a couple for Fight Island for you. But it was a little disappointing, it seemed to me. Like, it was such a good card, so many great knockouts, and then the main event was just, it's kind of grinding on the cage.
Yep.
And did you expect that type of fight, or did you think it was going to be more, with scrambles and knockdowns and that type of thing?
Yeah, it depended on what Woodley was going to show up, which Tyron Woodley was going to show up. Like I said, it should have been a lot like the Usman fight, but that wasn't the Tyron we got tonight.
And then just wanted to ask you, you've been doing so well with the pay-per-views, right? And you did especially well in Abu Dhabi. And I wonder what your thoughts are when you look at, you have a big star in Adesanya and Costa's an undefeated guy going in there to fight with another title fight on there. Do you think this is one that has that chance to kind of, erupt the way you've been talking about some of the other ones have done?
Yeah, this show's going to kill it. Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. I mean, Adesanya versus Costa is a ridiculous fight. It's a must-see fight, and like I've been saying, I think it's going to be the fight of the year.
And then the first time you went to Abu Dhabi, especially the first show, obviously the venue sort of helped drive interest in the show.
Yep.
Do you think that's still going to be the case, or do you think that's played out and it's just going to be the fights that get people interested?
Yeah, no, we had a lot of things going into Abu Dhabi. First of all, we were first. We were putting on events when people weren't. Fight Island was a massive, a big star in the entire promotion too, and we put on good fights. I mean, everything that you do to promote a fight was perfect for Fight Island. Obviously going into this week, there's more competition. College football's on, the NBA playoffs are going on, and things like that. So it's going to be like when the world was normal again.
And then just wanted to run some comments from you on Reyes and I'll say Jan since I don't want to pronounce the name. But what kind of fight do you expect in that? And I mean, it seemed like Reyes, he's almost going in as the champion given the way he fought against John Jones. And a lot of people thought he won.
Right.
Do you think that adds any pressure on him? He's coming off a win over Jones, and does that put any more burden on him to prove that he's the worthy guy?
Yeah, I think both these guys have a lot of pressure. To have the opportunity to fight for the vacant title and become the world champion is huge for both of these guys. And I think that should be a very fun fight, too. Both guys are hungry. Both guys are talented, and it's a massive opportunity for them. Thanks.
What do you think happened to Tyron? Because when he fought Darren Till, he was explosive. He dropped him, and then it's like he just completely went gun shy. What do you attribute that to? Is it injury? Is it age? Why has he suddenly become this guy who's afraid to throw?
Yeah, well, listen, this isn't I don't want to have the whole let's shit on Woodley press conference, but Woodley's had this throughout his career. He'll come out and knock a guy out explosively and whatever, and then have a fight where they lay on the fence for 5 rounds. So I wouldn't say that this is shocking, like this has never happened before, but I don't know. Listen, we all get older, man. It happens to the best of us. But Woodley's had a good career. He's been a champion. He's been around here for a while. Had a good run in Strikeforce too.
You said you want to have a conversation with Cerrone about his future. He's 5 in a row, but he looked good against Pettis and he looked good against tonight. He survived the onslaught that we've seen him crumble before.
I agree.
So when you say you want to have a conversation with him, do you want him to stop, or are you open to just maybe saying, look, let's start to bring it to a close? What's your emotions?
Let's talk about stopping.
Is he the sort of guy that you find a job for him with the promotion because he's been such a company guy?
I don't know, man. I got to have this conversation with him and see what he says. I don't know. I know what he's going to say. I mean, I know what he's going to say. I don't want to stop, but, we got to have the conversation.
Thanks, Dana.
Hey, Dana.
Hey.
Back here to your left. Quick question regarding what's next for Colby. You mentioned maybe Jorge. Is a rematch between Jorge and Nate Diaz still in the works?
Yeah, I don't know where we are on that whole thing.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Mr. White, how happy are you right now? This was almost like a double card. I mean, I don't remember a prelim segment that was I mean, the whole card was amazing.
Right.
I don't remember the last time a prelim segment was like a standalone card in itself.
Yeah, I knew. Listen, everybody knew there was a lot of buzz going into this card because this card was so good. They delivered. You know, everybody delivered tonight. So when you put together an awesome stacked card like this and it pays off, there's nothing better.
I've covered a lot of fights here at the Apex, and I see a pattern. Some guys, fight better in that smaller cage, whereas some guys fight better in the bigger one where they can move around. Would you ever consider putting the bigger cage in there, or is it too much of a hassle?
No, it does. It literally doesn't matter. I told you I'd run those numbers again. I got to do that. But there were actually more finishes in the big cage than there were in the small cage. But I got to rerun that now that we've done more fights in it.
Oh, okay, cool. Last thing, fans have been asking me online, does Dana really look that jacked in person? I'm like, yeah, man, what are you up to over there? What are your workouts?
I had shoulder surgery a year ago, and for the first time in my life, I hired a trainer. I never had a trainer before. So I've been with this guy for like a year, and he's awesome.
You still doing any combat sports? Boxing,
No.
Just a lot of lifting?
I'm fucking old and banged up, man. I just try to get in there and not get hurt and not get fat.
Dana, here.
Hi.
I was just going to ask you about Mackenzie Dern. Was her 5th fight in the UFC, her 10th professional fight in MMA. I just want to know your thoughts on her.
She looked incredible tonight. The submission she pulled off was insane. She looks like she's in the best shape of her life after having a baby. And, it's almost like, to be honest with you, since she had the baby, it's almost like her career she's gotten more focused, and she looked incredible.
She said she wants one more fight before the end of the year.
Interesting.
Another question is about Johnny Walker, too. He had like a kind of a messy fight down there. I just want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I expected that fight to be like that. I knew that was going to be a war. I didn't know who was going to win, but that was a really good fight. Really good fight. Both guys were hurt.
Dana, twice you've mentioned that Woodley has had a great career in this press conference. Are you insinuating that he should hang it up?
Did you just get here? That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said when this thing started. That, yeah, he should probably start thinking about it.
And
the thing is with Woodley is it doesn't seem like his head is in the game. He's focused on everything but, but I don't know.
So you think he's been distracted with all the outside stuff?
Always. For a long time, yeah.
Just lately you stumped for Trump at the rally in Henderson. Anything you want to say about that experience?
I've done it many times,
You seem to talk a lot about, bringing Vegas and making Vegas, bringing the economy back again. Do you have local political aspirations?
Oh God, no, no, not
Fair?
even. No, not never, ever.
Okay.
Hey, Dana, I want to go back to the Khamzat Chimaev situation. It seems like 5+ weeks is a long time. You're a gambling man. What are the chances you think you will bring him back to Fight Island and pull those strings?
Good. The chances are good. The guy wants to fight again. It took him 17 seconds. He didn't really have a lot of time to train. We flew him in here. It's been crazy since that kid's been here. He was training out in a parking lot, and he's a fascinating human being. And yes, if I can turn him around at Fight Island, I will.
After his victory, Kevin Holland told you he didn't win the fight. Is it a lock that those two will run it back? Darren Stewart?
Stud. What he said was, he walked over to me and he said, I didn't win that fight. And I said, well, you and I don't make those decisions. Somebody else does. And he said, no, we need to do that fight again because I didn't win. I respect the shit out of that.
Dana, real quick. Hazmat's fought in 2 different weight classes. If you had to slot him into one for the foreseeable future, do you want him at welterweight or middleweight?
Yeah, what's crazy is when you talk about his win tonight and what he did and how impressive he was, he knocked out a guy who's 185 pounds, a real guy, with one punch. He's a 170-pounder. So I'm telling you, the guy is like nothing I've ever seen before. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Special. Good?
I was going to say, could you put him against someone like Leon Edwards?
What's that?
Could you put Khamzat against someone like
I don't
Leon
know.
Edwards?
I don't know yet. I mean, if he's gonna fight a guy like that, and you're breaking into the top 5, you give the guy a full camp. You know, you can't expect a guy. Listen, everybody thought the hype train was over tonight. We're gonna throw him in with a top 5 guy. Very, very few people get into the UFC. Very few people break into the top 15. Almost nobody breaks into the top 5, and literally very, very few people become world champions. So to take a guy that fast and just throw him into the top 5, maybe you could do it, but you definitely don't do that. You give the guy a full camp. And
I know we're dealing with hypotheticals, and I know I asked you about this a couple of weeks ago, but could you, if he keeps going like this, could you see a scenario where he fights for the middleweight title and then 2 months later fights for the welterweight title?
I don't know what I see right now from him other than this guy is different and special and like nothing I've ever seen before. I think this guy has the potential to do anything. We'll see how this all plays out over the next year. I mean, look at what he's accomplished in fucking 66 days. Imagine what he'll accomplish in 9 months. Right? Good night, everybody. I'll see some of you in Abu Dhabi.